The gift that we have in our hands with the bars is one of the most amazing things that I can even begin to describe. And the beauty of it is it doesn't have any words. It doesn't really have any description. People lie there, and the beauty is they actually learn to receive. When you actually allow yourself to receive, everything in your world starts to change. And I think it's one of the greatest gifts we can give people. One of the greatest gifts we can give anybody is to give them this possibility. See, what we're doing is we're accessing something that really doesn't exist in this reality. And a lot of times people are like, well, what do you mean this reality? Well, I think as humanoids, we know what we mean by this reality. It's just everybody else who requires an explanation. This reality's all that stuff that sort of sucks, that requires judgment, that requires you separating from people, that requires you not to have the joy of being alive, that requires you to, feel bad about you and wonder what you've done wrong and all that sort of stuff. And you know what? It's like what we're doing is actually inviting a possibility into existence where that doesn't have to be the reality people choose. It's like I've just been doing this stuff for the last 17 years. I started doing it because I had a bar session that literally saved my life. And, a lot of you may know this, a lot of you may not, but it literally saved my life. And when I say literally, I mean literally, not when people say literally, but it's not literal. Like, I mean literally, it actually literally saved my life. Because I was going to die prior to that bar session. I was actually going to end my own life. Such was the state of my life at the time. And had this bar session, and it changed my whole perspective on what was possible. So I've been doing this, Access Consciousness, for the last 17 years. And usually what happens is I show up, when we have a class I'm facilitating, and in order to get there, usually people have done, foundation or ESP or another class. And so what I see is a lot of people who've done Access for a while, etc. Well, I was getting my haircut at my sister's salon in Glendale, and I was laying there getting my hair washed, and I didn't know it, but they were having a bars trade that day. My sister's washing my hair, and these people start piling in to run bars. And this is, like people you would meet that would live next door, that would live, in the apartment building you live in, next to the house you live in or whatever. And they're like, yeah, cool, can't wait to do this. And I literally started crying there in the little basin while I'm getting my hair washed. And I was like, wow, this is touching people around the world. And one of the things that Gary said to me when I first met him, he said, look, I'll know Access is a success when everybody around the world has these tools and nobody knows my name. And I thought, how different is that from everybody who sort of wants to be the star or wants credit for it and all that? And I heard those words and I went, you know what? I am on. I am on, and this is something that I would like to contribute to also. And having these people pour in for this bars trade, they didn't know I was going to be there, and it was just this thing where I saw that people are choosing this for themselves. And this is the gift of this. It's like you choose it for you, okay? You choose it for you, and you choose it because you know it's going to create something for you. And as in everything, sometimes you get the most amazing session in the world, and then sometimes you're like, I wonder if anything happened. Yeah, well, guess what? That's not because you're wrong. That's the nature of everything in this conscious journey. To be part of bringing that to the world, you can think of no greater gift. Because this thing that we're doing, this consciousness, where we're looking at things from a different place. You may not yet realize what a gift it is to the world to have you here making the choices that you're making. And I am going to be the first to tell you, I realize that sometimes it is not easy. Now, many times, it's the easiest thing, the funnest thing, the most amazing thing. But when you start to realize you have an awareness of reality in the world that's different than the norm, that's different than other people, and of course, you've probably been made wrong for it your whole life. But when you start to recognize that you have an awareness of something different, not necessarily the easiest place to be. So one thing that helps a lot is bars. Another thing that helps is if I were able to actually choose the reality I would like to create, what would I choose and what could I choose and what can I choose that I haven't yet been choosing? Those questions. And then also, if you start to look from the place of this reality is inside of you. You are not inside of it. If you've heard this thing in Access Consciousness where we talk about you're an infinite being, if you start to look at that, I mean, if you just explore it for a moment, if I were truly an infinite being, what would I choose and what would I have available? And in this particular case, if you look and realize you're an infinite being, what would infinite actually be? It's like infinite is big. It's bigger than the universe. It's bigger than this reality. In fact, it's so big in comparison to this reality that really, if you look at it, this reality and all of its rules and all of its limitations and all of its judgment and all of its wrongness and all of its trying to be right without ever succeeding is kind of like a cotton ball in comparison to the sun that is your reality. If you'd allow yourself to recognize this reality is inside of you, you are not inside of it, what else would be possible? If you would start to recognize that this reality is like a cotton ball in comparison to your reality, which is more like the sun, would you be willing to burn up this reality in favor of the intense potency, the intense joy, the intense non-judgment, the intense sense of possibilities that is yours? So just, inviting you to that possibility. And also, if you start to recognize that the difference that you are is actually part of the greatest gift of you. That difference is what opens up a space of possibilities for everything to be different in the world. And if you could acknowledge that and you could start to choose it, what's possible? Well, the bars do that. Bars increases your sense of connection with the universe. There's a dynamic increase in level of creativity, and there's a dynamic increase in the brain waves that indicate connection with the universe and gratitude. What can we ask for? Like, if you just get the energy and the space and the consciousness of what you would desire to ask for, what can we ask for in the year ahead? If you get a sense of that right now, get a sense of the energy of it, get a sense of the space of it, get a sense of what actually might be possible. And just ask. See, and what you don't realize is the universe will provide if you ask. There's so many phenomenal possibilities available. Because remember, this reality is inside of you. This reality is far smaller than you. If you could imagine this reality occupying your little toe, the rest of you could create something totally different. Are you willing to be that large? Are you willing to be that phenomenal? Are you willing to be as phenomenal as you know you are, that you keep being frustrated at you for not choosing, that now is actually the time to choose? There's something so different possible and available, my beautiful friends. And you know it. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Tap into the space that people around the world are creating right now. Tap into the space of the enjoyment of it and the possibilities of it. And tap into what you know is actually possible. Because as we choose, we create. Your choice creates, my beautiful friends, as does mine, as does all of ours. And please realize, number one, you're not alone. Number two, you're not alone. And number three, you're still not alone. And number four, there's an entire universe that will contribute to you. All you got to do is ask. What else is possible if you actually ask and know that you actually have the capacity to receive and deserve to receive? And you know what? It's like all of us are people. You know what I mean? It's like all of us are living our lives. We're doing our thing. We're doing the best to do the best that we can. We're trying not to screw up too often. And you're not alone. We're all on a very similar journey. Please know that, and please know what a gift it is to have you on this planet right now. To have you on this planet running bars, to have you on this planet looking for other possibilities, to have you on this planet asking questions, and to have you on this planet in this reality knowing that this is not all there is. This is just the beginning, and we have just gotten started.